Dr. Hasnawati, our respected lecturer, Professor Madya Dr. Raja Edzrin Raja Ahmad, and fellow friends. First of all, let's be thankful to God the Almighty who has given us His mercy and blessing to attend this international mobility program, enhancing global competence once again. We would like to express our gratitude and welcome once again to our honorable speaker for today, Dr. Hasnawati from Trisakti University in Indonesia. It is nice to see you again for our second lecture today. To begin our webinar, let me invite my fellow friend, Wafiq Wajdi, to lead the dua.
Yes, Steph. Dengar tak? Beliau dengar tak?
Boleh.
Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Hamdan yuafi ni'amahu kafil mazidah. Ya rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi jalla wajhika wa azim mustaqim. Allahumma ighfir lana dzunubana wa liwalidayna kama rabbawna shaghira. Allahumma taf alaina hikmataka wa anshur alaina min khazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa baraka wa sallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Hasnawati to begin our lecture on process costing and cost of production report, FIFO.
Thank you very much, Kakak Nur. Kalau di sini panggilnya Mbak Nur. Saya izin memulai ya, Ibu Azrin.
Silakan. Ya, silakan.
Okay, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. We will continue our lecture today. Last week, we already learned about process costing with the average method, but we only learned about the first department. So we will continue how to make cost of production report in the second or third department. Okay, maybe we can refresh first before we continue. Actually, there are two mainstream job costing system. The first one, job costing system, and the second one, process costing system. If we use job costing system, it will be suitable if the product is distinct, identifiable unit. Meanwhile, we can use process costing system if the product is kind of masses product. Okay, if I make like this, did you see my slide?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes, can, but if you can go to slideshow better.
Oh, yeah. So
But if you
I already changed the slide, but could you see it? Sudah berubah belum?
Masih sama slide dengan nampak di tepinya.
Oh ya sudah. Macam ini saja lah ya.
Boleh.
Okay, this is kind of process costing. The example in bread factory. Yeah, mixing department, baking department, packaging department. We already learned in the first department. Yeah. For example, if we talk about bread factory, we already learned how to make cost of production report in mixing department. So how to make if we will make in baking department or packaging department, second or third department. Okay, in accounting, yeah, as you can see on the slide, this is the process costing flow. First, we will put raw material in first department, also direct labor cost and factory overhead or indirect cost. After the processing already done in first department, the work in progress or work in process will send to the second department In second department, it can be add with raw material, direct labor cost, also overhead costs. But sometimes, yeah, it's only add with the direct labor cost and overhead cost only without material. So after the process is finished in second department, work in progress will send to the third department. After already complete, the finished good will send to the warehouse. So this is the process costing flow. We will learn in this department, yeah, second or third department, how to make the cost of production report in this department. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, this is the transfer in cost. Yeah, what is transfer in cost? Transfer in cost, that costs are incurred in previous department that are carried forward as the product cost when it moved to a subsequent process in the production cycle. So for example, maybe in mixed department, like in our example in bread factory, mixed department is first department. Let's say the total cost from mixed department is 100 ringgit, and the dough it's sent to the baking department. It's not only the dough sent to the baking department, but also the 100 ringgit Malaysia also sent to the second department. 100 ringgit Malaysia, that's what we call transfer in cost. Yeah, it's also called previous department cost, biaya dari departemen sebelumnya. Ya, journal entries are made to mirror the progress in production from department to department. Transfer in costs are treated as if they are separate type of direct material added at the beginning of the process. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. So what's the difference with the last week cost of production report? This is the difference. Yeah, there is column, special column for transfer in cost in equivalent unit. So when we talk about the step 1 to calculate physical unit, there is no difference. Yeah, whether we talk about the first department or second department. So in physical unit, it's still same. Work in process beginning, or in your textbook you call it opening. Yeah, opening, work in progress, plus transfer in. This is the difference. If we talk in first department, we will add with the started, because the first department where we start the product, the production process. So in the second or third department or fourth department, we will add with transfer in, yeah, from the previous department. So total product should be account is WIP, yeah, work in progress opening plus transfer in. It should be same with the completed and transfer out to next department plus WIP closing or WIP ending in this textbook. Yeah. In transfer in, to calculate equivalent unit, we should multiply with 100%. Ya, you should remember. Ya, also always ya, selalu dikali dengan tingkat penyelesaian 100%. So in this example, completed and transfer out 440 plus work in process closing 200. Ya. But indirect material and conversion cost, it's still same. We should multiply with the percentage completion. In this example, material already put, all the material already put into the process. So it's times with 100%. That's why the number, the amount is 440. This is transfer out, yeah. Transfer out also multiply with 100%. And work in process ending, yeah. There's no, yeah, the direct material is not put in yet into the production. That's why 0, yeah. And conversion cost already put along the production process, so it's already 80% completed. So that why it's 160. It comes from 200 times 80%. So this is the first difference. Yeah. If we talk about the second or third or fourth department. Also in step 3, 4, and 5, yeah, there is column for transfer in cost. Yeah, this is the, okay, step 3. Yeah, we will calculate how much the total cost to account for. Yeah, usually in the textbook, it's the data is already given. So we only put into the format, yeah. So transfer in cost 33,600 plus cost edit, yeah, direct material also, and conversion cost. So to we move to step 4, we will calculate cost per equivalent unit of work done to date. It's also same, it's only different. There is column, there is calculation for transfer in cost. We just divide total cost with the equivalent unit. Yeah, equivalent unit from this, from the previous calculation, this in equivalent unit, 640 for transfer in, 440 for direct material, and 600 for conversion cost. We got this and we put here. Yeah, okay. As you can see, we get cost per equivalent unit of work done date. Yeah, for transfer in 133.75, for direct material 30, and for conversion cost $111. After we calculate equivalent per unit, so we move to step 4. Yeah, we will calculate assignment of cost. First, we should calculate how much the cost that product that already completed and transfer out to next department. Yeah, from step 1 here, yeah, we know unit completed and transfer out is 440, and there is still work in progress closing 200. So we should calculate how much the cost of this physical unit. The cost, the calculation in step 5. Okay, let's see this. Yeah, first transfer in 440 times this equivalent. Yeah, and we're in progress closing 200 times equivalent. The same treatment also apply to direct material and conversion cost. Yeah, direct material 440, it's come from here. Yeah, here 400 is 0 in nih WIP closing ya, 0 for direct material and 160 for conversion cost. Ya, oke, we calculate ya 440 times 30. Ya, for conversion cost transfer out 440 times equivalent per unit for conversion cost. And you should also calculate the cost for work in progress closing or ending. 0 times 30 from this. 160 ya from step 2 time 111. So the report is already done. Okay, any question until this? No. Okay, we continue. So
Ibu,
how
ada enggak dia the PowerPoint slides that can be shared with the students or any?
yeah, okay. I stop sharing and then send first, right?
Because at least it will be easier because it figures and they
Yeah.
don't have any textbook and they don't have any slides.
Okay.
All right.
Ibu, saya sudah kirim ke WA group. Karena di tim saya tidak ketemu ini bagaimana men-share view. Nih. Oke. Mungkin saya tambah satu lagi. Oke, Could we start again? Boleh ya? Mulai lagi, sudah terlihatkah slide saya?
Ya boleh.
Boleh. Okay, we'll continue to make journal entry. In this example is testing department. Yeah, it's assumed after the production process already done in testing department, it will send to finished good. So debit, finished good control, yeah, 120, yeah, 1,890, and work in process testing will be credited. Yeah, this is to record cost of good completed and transfer from testing finished good. Yeah, so this is the number or the amount, yeah, that we should make the journal entry. Yeah, complete and transfer out. We already calculate the amount is 120,890. This is the number that's put in the journal. Finish good debit and work in process from testing department. Yeah. Okay, this is the T account. Yeah, beginning inventory, transfer in, yeah, direct material. So where it's come, beginning inventory. Yeah, this is beginning 51 and 600. Yeah, and then transfer in cost 52,000. Yeah, transfer in cost edit, yeah, 52,000. Yeah, okay, and then direct material this 13 and conversion cost, yeah, 48,600. Yeah, transfer out, yeah, and ending still exists 44,510. Yeah, as this, yeah, it still exists in the testing department. Okay. Yeah, I hope you can open the slide. Okay, we just let continue and you can accomplish this exercise at your home. Okay, we will move to the second method is FIFO. First in, first out process costing method. Yeah, what is the difference between average method with the FIFO method? Yeah, this is the difference. Yeah, in FIFO method, we assign the cost of the previous accounting period equivalent unit in opening work in progress inventory to the first unit completed and transfer out the process. So it's meaning we will separate, yeah, which one the cost for WIP opening from the previous period that we complete, we produce, ya, we process in this period. Ya, jadi ada WIP beginning yang kita selesaikan pada periode ini. Dibedakan dengan yang betul-betul dimulai dan diselesaikan pada periode ini. Nah, ini bedanya, that's the difference in FIFO and average. If we talk average, we only average, ya, merata-ratakan, ya, dari WIP tambah yang dimulai periode ini. If we talk in FIFO, we will separate between WIP that we complete in this period and the production that started and finished in this period. Jadi dibedakan di sini, ya. In the you will see more clearly in cost of production report, ya. This is the explanation, ya. a distinctive feature of FIFO process costing method is that work done on the beginning inventory before the current period is kept separate, yeah, from work done in the current period. The second one, the cost incurred and unit produced in the current period are used to calculate, yeah, the cost per equivalent unit of work done in the current period. In contrast, the equivalent unit and cost per equivalent unit calculation under the weighted average method merge, digabung, ya, merge the unit and cost in beginning inventory with the unit and cost of work done in the current period. So just like I said, yeah, in FIFO method, we separate between work in process opening and the started and finished in current period. So let's see the next slide. Yeah, this is the next slide. Yeah, this is the step 1. And it still talk about first department. Work in progress beginning 225 plus started is still same with the average. Yeah, work in WIP beginning or WIP opening plus started during current period. It should be same with completed and transfer out plus work in process closing. But in completed and transfer out, we separate between from beginning work in process and started and completed in this period. Yeah. In this example, completed and transfer out is 400. Yeah. As you can see in the additional information, yeah, 400 physical unit completed, yeah, but 400 is not started and completed in this period. 225 comes from work in process opening, work in process beginning, ya. Jadi 400 unit yang selesai dan ditransfer ke departemen berikutnya terdiri, ya, consist of 2 part, ya, terdiri dari 2 bagian. The first one, ya, 225 ini, ya, 225 itu melanjutkan pekerjaan periode sebelumnya. Lalu kita kerjakan lagi periode ini, 225 ini. Ya. And then plus 175. Ya, jadi 400 itu berasal 225 dari WIP beginning, ya, plus 175. Okay, I hope you understand. So how to calculate equivalent unit? So a little bit different between average and FIFO. Yeah. From if we want to calculate direct material, 225 in this example, 100% material already put in previous department. Jadi material itu sudah masuk 100% pada periode sebelumnya. Sehingga pada periode saat ini tidak ada lagi material atau bahan baku yang dimasukkan. That's why it's 0. Ya. Jadi 100% sudah masuk periode yang lalu. Periode ini tidak ada lagi berarti yang ditambahkan. Jadi 0. Ya. Meanwhile, for conversion cost, yeah, the data said conversion cost is 60% completed. It means 60% already done in previous department. Jadi 60% sudah selesai. Artinya periode ini yang perlu kita kerjakan hanya 40%-nya. 100% kurang 60%. Ya. So 90 comes from 225 times 40%. Ya. Okay, I hope you understand. And then started and completed. It mean produk yang kita kerjakan, kita mulai dan kita selesaikan periode ini juga. Ya, yang dimulai 175 dan diselesaikan periode ini ya 175 for material. Material already put in the process for 100%, jadi dikali 100%, and also 100% for conversion cost. Ya, nah ini, ya ini sama dengan average. Ya, kalau average transfer out and send to the next department selalu kali 100%. Bedanya di FIFO itu di sininya ini, ya. Transfer out-nya kita bagi dua, yang berasal dari beginning WIP dan yang betul-betul kita mulai dan kita selesaikan periode ini. Nah, yang harus hati-hati di beginning-nya ini, ya, harus persentasenya itu 100% kurang persentase selesai. Nah, ini yang kita kerjakan periode ini. Nah, started and completed sama, tetap dikali 100%, sama dengan average. Ya. And also for work in process ending or work in progress closing, ya ini sama. Untuk baik FIFO maupun average is still same. Ya. 100 times 100% for material, ya. This is degree of completion in this department. That's why we multiply with 100%. And conversion cost is 50%. So that's why we multiply with 50%. Okay, this is how to calculate equivalent unit if we use FIFO method. Okay, any question? No. Yeah, okay, this only explanation. This is the, yeah, the another example if we use transfer in. Yeah, if we talk about the second department, it's also same with the average. There's additional column for transfer in. Okay, this is the example. Yeah, it can be applied if we want to calculate weighted average, yeah, or FIFO method. So let's practice first how the equivalent unit, how much the equivalent unit if we use FIFO method for this exercise. Anyone to share the answer? Okay. Ada yang mau jawab? Okay, for physical unit, yeah, only physical unit. We first, yeah, beginning work in process 100 plus it's same, yeah, 510. So the total is 610. Yeah, for average, yeah, we only, yeah, completed, yeah, it's the same with completed and transfer out plus ending. So the difference in to calculate the direct material equivalent and conversion cost. Okay, let's back to the slide. So that's why we need this, yeah. If we want to calculate with FIFO method, we need information about degree of completion beginning WIP, not only degree of completion ending, yeah. But if we want to calculate average, we only need this additional information, the B, yeah, WIP ending only, yeah. Okay. FIFO is little bit complicated, yeah. This one, completed and transfer out. Okay, back. Yeah. Anyone to answer this? Okay, equivalent unit for direct material. Completed and transfer out. How much from beginning and how much that started? Completed is 450, right? So how much equivalent unit for material that's come from beginning? Beginning is 100, ya. Times harus dikali berapa yang 100 ini? Dikali 80% atau dikali 20%? Coba saya buat satu lagi di sini ya. Oke, equivalent unit. Oke, for material started from WIP, what you call opening. First, how much from WIP opening? It's complete 450 ya. Material ya. Transfer out 450. Ya, WIP opening 100. Ya, you 100. Ya. In this exercise, ya, there is A, ya, additional information. Degree of completion for direct material is 80%. It's mean 80% already done in previous period. 80% sudah dikerjakan periode sebelumnya. Jadi yang dikerjakan periode ini hanya berapa? Ada yang boleh jawab? 80% sudah dikerjakan, sudah diselesaikan periode yang lalu. Sehingga periode ini kita hanya mengerjakan sebanyak 20% atau 20 unit dapatnya. Baru ditambahkan dengan started and completed. Ya. Oke, started and completed. Ya, yang ditransfer ya 450. 450 consists of 100 from WIP opening, sehingga sisanya tinggal berapa ini? Seratus kurang 450 menjadi berapa? 350 kali ini, karena ditransfer berarti sudah dikali 100%, sama dengan 350. Lalu ya, ini yang transfer out kita tambahkan lagi dengan WIP ending. Ya, WIP ending or work in closing. Ya. Ini beginning atau opening. How much WIP ending is 160. Ya. So we can calculate 160 times, we should see 40%. This is the ending. The additional information is B. Yeah, this is 80%. Yeah, same. Yeah, WIP beginning and WIP ending is same 80%, but for WIP beginning we times with 20% instead of 80%. Karena yang dicari di sini yang betul-betul dikerjakan pada periode ini. 80% sudah dikerjakan periode yang lalu. Sehingga yang dikerjakan periode ini hanya 20%. Ya. Kalau WIP ending memang berasal dari periode ini. Ya, jadi kita kalikan dengan 80%. Ya, ini kita kali dengan 80%. Oke? Any question? Tak ada? Nah, ini nanti kita jumlah. Ya, 20 unit tambah 350, 370, tambah 128. Inilah equivalent unit for material. Ya. Nah, untuk conversion cost sama juga ya. Oke, WIP ya, transfer out, WIP beginning. Oops. Nah. Oke, 100 times, nah dikurangi dengan 35%. Jadi kita kali dengan, ya kalau di sini 100 kali, ya 100% dikurangi dengan, oke, this one, 35%. Ya, 35%. Ya, started and completed, ya sama, kalau ini 350 kali 100%, WIP ending, ya kita lihat berapa tingkat penyelesaiannya, 40% ya, 160, 160 kali 40%. Nah, jadi seperti inilah menghitung equivalent unit for FIFO method. Ya, ini FIFO method. Secara konseptual is still same ya, transfer out plus WIP ending. But for transfer out we should separate ya, which one from WIP opening and which one from started and completed. That's the difference between average and FIFO method. Okay, is only explanation. Yeah. Okay, unit cost may fluctuate between periods, so transfer unit may contain batch accumulated at different cost using FIFO. Ya, jadi if you use FIFO, harga itu akan berfluktuasi. Ya, different with if we use average. Unit may be measured in different denomination in different department. Ya, feet in one department and yard in another's, or kilo versus liter. In this case, measurement must be converted to the correct measure. Ya, what is meaning? If we talk in mixing department, maybe there's some liter water that put into the process. Ya, jadi misalnya kita kerja di pabrik ice cream, ya. Jadi mungkin yang dimasukkan berapa liter air, lalu nanti setelah menjadi ice cream dia menjadi unit. Nah, itu harus dikonversi, harus hati-hati ya dalam penyamaan denomination, satuan. Ya, penyamaan satuan itu harus hati-hati. Oke. Last week, yeah, I already explained hybrid costing. Maybe you still remember this picture. Okay, this one, yeah. Last week I already asked you which process or which costing system that suitable for this kind of industry. There's IKEA. This is the interior design in the private jet, and this is in the car manufacturer, and this is the future car. Yeah, I already asked what kind of costing system for this future car, because it's not regular car. Yeah, but for this car manufacturer, this is kind of regular car. So the produced car, ya, mobil yang diproduksi, it will be same or at least similar one to the another. Ya, so we can say this manufacturer suitable to use process costing. But for this, ya, we cannot say it's completely job order. Ya, tidak bisa mengatakan ini sepenuhnya job order karena mungkin because the machine is still same that used in the regular car. So it's only different for in Indonesia we call it karesori. Ya, luarnya saja yang berbeda. Mungkin mesinnya sama dengan ini, tapi ya luarnya, bungkusnya saja, body dari car ini saja yang berbeda. Ya, sehingga material yang digunakan, the amount of material or the type of the material will be different if we compare with the regular car. So we can say that this kind of product use hybrid cost. Ya, mostly the manufacturing use hybrid cost. Ya, jadi karena ada berbagai macam tipe, so not exactly same. Ya, but within for the conversion cost, it's mean for direct labor cost and overhead cost is still same. It's only different in the material. So we call it hybrid cost. Yeah. Okay, let's back to the last slide. What is hybrid cost? Yeah, this is the hybrid cost. Yeah. Oops. So according to the Hongren textbook, yeah, product costing system do not always fall neatly into either job costing or process costing categories. A hybrid costing system blend characteristic from both job costing and process costing system. So many actual production system are in fact hybrid. Ya, jadi faktanya kebanyakan pabrik-pabrik kilang-kilang tuh menggunakan hybrid costing system. Ya, for example, include manufacturing of television, dishwasher, washing machine, and shoe, who tend to use hybrid costing system. The hybrid costing system use process costing to account for the conversion cost. Yeah, just like I explained. Yeah, process costing only for conversion cost. It's meant only to calculate direct labor cost and overhead cost. Yeah, and job costing for the material and customizable component. Ya, jadi kalau mobil tadi, kereta tadi, nah itu materialnya yang berbeda dengan regular car. One specific type of hybrid costing system is known as the operation costing system. An operation is a standardized method or technique often performed repetitively on different material resulting in different finished good. Jadi pemrosesan berulang-berulang tapi menggunakan bahan yang berbeda sehingga hasil akhir pun akan berbeda. Ya. An operation costing system is a hybrid costing system applied to batch of similar but not identical product. Nah, jadi yang mirip-mirip ya, bukan persis ya. Jadi we can use operation costing system. Within each operation, all product units are treated exactly alike. Ya, using identical amount of the operation resources. Managers find operation costing useful in cost management because operation costing focus on control of physical process or operation of a given production system. Yeah, so this is a little bit explanation about hybrid costing. Okay, we continue to another slide for scrap. Yeah. Did you see my slide? The new slide. Sudah terlihatkah?
Sudah.
Nah, sudah ya. Kalau di buku Hongren di Trisakti ini sudah chapter 18. Ya, yang tadi itu chapter 17. Ya. Itu semua proses produksi berjalan dengan baik ya. Tidak ada yang rusak, tidak ada yang cacat. Semua baik-baik saja, ya. Nah, in this chapter we will talk about spoilage, rework and scrap. Nah, jadi ada sedikit perbedaan dengan chapter 17. Okay, learning objective. After you learn this chapter, what you should be able to. First, you should understand the definition of spoilage, rework, and scrap. The second one, you should be able to identify the differences between normal and abnormal spoilage. The third one, you should be able to account for spoilage in process costing using the weighted average and FIFO method. Yeah, so it will be little bit more complicated than FIFO. Yeah, the regular FIFO. Yeah, okay, and you should be able to account for spoilage at various stages of completion and process costing. Okay, now we move to definition. Yeah, for the first objective. Yeah, after you learn this chapter, you should be able to differentiate which kind of spoilage, rework, or scrap. Yeah, so the first one, spoilage. Ya, apa itu spoilage? Ya, barang busuk, barang rusak. Ya, so according to this book, ya, spoilage is unit of production whether fully or partially completed but do not meet the specification required by customer for good unit and that are discarded or sold for reduced price. Jadi ini barang rusak, ya. It's not only completely defect, ya, but it can be only little bit defect or totally defect. Yeah, so if this product is only little bit defect and can be repaired, so the product can be categorized as rework. Ya, jadi hanya sedikit rusaknya, sedikit cacat, lalu kita perbaiki, ya, sehingga sama persis dengan unit yang utuh, yang bagus, ya. So that's kind of rework, dikerjakan ulang, ya. Unit of production that do not meet the specification required by customers, but that are subsequently repaired, ya, and sold as good finished good, ya. Jadi spoilage ini jika hanya cacat sedikit, kita boleh perbaiki lah, kan? Kita repair sehingga bisa menjadi betul, bisa menjadi baik kembali dan kita jual dengan harga normal. Tetapi jika tidak dapat diperbaiki, ya, atau cacatnya banyak sekali, ya, sehingga ya dibuang saja oleh perusahaan, ya, atau mungkin dijual dengan harga yang sangat murah. Nah, itu spoilage, ya. Dan hubungannya dengan rework. Okay, next, scrap. What is scrap? Ya, scrap sisa bahan, ya, residual material that result from manufacturing a product. Scrap has low total sales value compared with the total sales value of the product. Ya, jadi nilainya pun rendah, ya. Scrap is similar to byproduct. What is byproduct? You will learn byproduct whenever you learn about the joint product. Ya, maybe in the next week you will be taught by Bu Azrin, ya, joint product. Nanti ada istilah byproduct, ya. Scrap is similar to byproduct, but scrap arise as a residual. Beda dengan byproduct. Ya, byproduct itu arise from the same production process. Kalau scrap itu muncul dari sisa bahan, ya. Ya, and it's not a product targeted for manufacture or sell by the firm. So, to make you clear about the scrap, rework, spoil, ya, you can see on this picture, ya. Last week, ya, we already seen the tailor, ya, tukang jahit, ya. Tukang jahit kalau menjahit baju, ya, harus memotong sesuai pola, ya. He or she should cut the fabric or the cloth according to the pattern. Yeah, pattern was made after he or she measured the customer body. Yeah, so this is the kind of scrap. Ya, sisa bahan. Jadi setelah dipotong-potong kain ya mengikuti pola dari customer adalah sisa kain ya. Nah, we call it scrap. Another example if we in the furniture fabric ya. The furniture is made from the wood ya. Before we make for example the table, the chair ya, we should cut the wood according to the measurement ya, according to the pattern of the furniture that we will make ya. So that's kind of sisa kayu ya, ada sisa kayu yang mungkin kecil-kecil ya, tidak dapat dipergunakan untuk membuat furniture. So we call it scrap ya. Another terminology is spoilage or defect. This is example of defect. I will zoom it. Defect. Yeah, as you can see here, this is the fabric or cloth. Ya, kainnya ada yang cacat sedikit lah. Nih. Ya. Nah, jika sedikit seperti ini, mungkin masih boleh di-repair, boleh diperbaiki. Ya, diperbaiki, kita jahit sedikit. Mungkin ini bahan untuk membuat rok ya, atau membuat suit ya, jas. Nah, boleh kita jahit lagi. Ini jadi rework. Tapi jika cacat ini tak boleh kita repair, ya kita jual saja dengan murah ya. Atau ya dibuang sekalian. Ya. So this is the difference among scrap, spoilage ya, or defect and rework. Okay, next slide. Accounting for spoilage. Yeah. A certain amount of spoilage, rework, or scrap is inherent ya, in many production process. Jadi ada yang memang melekat. Jadi tak bisa dihindari, unavoidable. Ya, jadi ada beberapa spoilage, rework itu memang tak terhindari, ya. Accounting for spoilage aims to determine the magnitude of spoilage cost and to distinguish between cost of normal and abnormal spoilage. Jadi ada kejadian yang itu sebenarnya biasa saja dalam production process, ya. Ada yang luar biasa spoilage itu. Nah, dalam akuntansi we want to separate ya, which one is normal spoilage and which one is abnormal spoilage. Why? Ya, why we should separate? Ya, because ya, management want to manage, want to control, and want to reduce spoilage costs. Ya, and also this cost should be highlighted. Ya, harus dikasih garis bawah. Ya, harus diperhatikan. Ya, not simply folded into production cost. Ya, ini harus betul-betul diperhatikan oleh manajemen di kilang. Ya, spoilage ini normalkah atau tak normal? Ya, okay, we already mentioned about normal and abnormal. Ya, okay, in this slide, ya, there are two types of spoilage. The first one normal, and the second one is abnormal. Nih dihapus ini. Ya, oke. What is abnormal? Ya, abnormal spoilage is spoilage that is not inherent in particular production process and would not arise under efficient operating condition. So what is normal? Normal is inherent. So this is the difference. Yeah, spoilage is inherent, but if we talk about abnormal, is not inherent. Nah, kalau ini biasa terjadi, unavoidable, tak dapat dihindari, ya. Jadi that arise even under efficient operating condition. Jadi ini biasa terjadi walaupun kita sudah efisien dalam melakukan pekerjaan. Nah, sementara if we talk about abnormal, would not arise, tidak akan terjadi, ya. If we work carefully, ya, if we work efficient, ya, there's will no abnormal spoilage, ya. So the calculation, the treatment is also different. For normal spoilage, ya, rates are computed by dividing the unit of normal spoilage by total good unit completed, ya, not to total actual unit started in production. Ya, jadi biaya-biaya akibat adanya normal loss or normal spoilage itu akan ditanggung oleh unit yang baik, ya. Management make a conscious decision about the production rate per hour which generate a certain level of normal spoilage, ya. Ini perlakuan untuk normal spoilage. For abnormal loss or abnormal spoilage, ya, as I explained before, is usually regarded as avoidable. Harusnya itu dapat dihindari kalau pekerja pabrik berhati-hati atau tidak ada major katastrofi, ya, and controllable. To highlight the effect of abnormal spoilage costs, companies calculate the unit of abnormal spoilage and record the cost in the loss. Nah, jadi dia diperlakukan sebagai loss. Berbeza dengan normal. Kalau yang normal loss, biayanya, cost-nya ditanggung oleh produksi yang utuh, yang baik, ya. Karena because normal loss is kind of unavoidable. Meanwhile, abnormal loss avoidable and controllable. So if this occur, so the company should record the cost as loss, ya, diakui sebagai kerugian, ya, from abnormal spoilage accounts, ya, which appears as a separate line on the income statement. Jadi ada ini, ya, ada terjadi kerugian, kita harus record di dalam laporan income statement kita. Nah, mungkin, ya, to make it clearly, you can see on this picture. What is, okay, from these two kind of picture, which one is normal loss and which one is abnormal loss? Ada yang mau jawab tak? Ini ada air direbus, ada telur jatuh. Mana yang dikategorikan sebagai normal loss? Mana yang dikategorikan sebagai abnormal loss? Ada yang jawab tak? Kalau kita merebus air, normal tak kalau nanti airnya berkurang setelah mendidih? Normal tak?
Normal.
Nah, normal. Ya. So, the first picture is kind of normal loss. Nah, itu biasa saja, tak terhindari, ya. Kalau air mendidih pasti dia ada proses penguapan, evaporated, ya. Jadi airnya pun susut sedikit lah, ya. Atau proses kimiawi lainnya. Nah, itu normal loss. Nah, tapi kalau gambar kedua nih, nah misalnya di pabrik roti tadi lah ya, tak berhati-hati, lalu telurnya jatuh, ya, sehingga ini akan dianggap sebagai kerugian oleh pihak kilang, ya. This is kind of abnormal loss, ya. So this is another example, ya. Treatment of spoilage, ya. Okay. In this picture, yeah, the supermarket sells milk, yeah. So if, yeah, you know, as a trader, sometimes we can get more customer, and sometimes there's nobody want to come to our supermarket, so the milk becomes spoiled, ya. Milknya jadi rusak, expire, ya. Ya, itu boleh dianggap normal spoilage, ya. So we can capitalize, ya. What is mean capitalize? Maybe you still remember the difference between capitalize and expand, ya. Capitalize it's mean we can record as, ya. Nah, is for example we buy the car, ya. Car it should be capitalized. We treat as asset first, ya. But after that regularly we will depreciate car, ya. Depreciation expand, credit accumulated, so depreciation expand become expand, ya. So it's also the same treatment, ya. If normal loss, ya, it seperti tadi saya terangkan, ya, normal loss akan ditanggung oleh produk yang baik, ya. Biayanya akan dimasukkan ke dalam produk yang utuh, ya. So it's mean capitalize, ya, dianggap sebagai aset dulu. But abnormal spoilage, ya, seperti ini, ya, milknya busuk atau rusak karena in this example because of tornado, ya, membuat aliran listrik putus 5 hari sehingga milk menjadi rusak, ya, atau tadi telurnya jatuh, ya. That's kind of abnormal spoilage, and we will record as expand in income statement. Okay, if we want to make cost of production report, yeah, of course we should recognize the loss, yeah. Spoilage in process costing using weighted average and FIFO, yeah. Unit of normal spoilage can be counted or not counted, yeah, when computing output unit or physical or equivalent in a process costing. Counting all spoilage is considered preferable and will be used in our example here, yeah. So it will be preferred. Why? Is already explained, because it can be a management concern, ya. Jadi kalau ada loss, ini mungkin bisa menjadi perhatian dari manajemen, ya. Jika kita tidak memisahkannya, mungkin saja manajemen bisa jadi tidak aware adanya loss ini di kilang kita, ya. Inspection point and spoilage, ya. Inspection point, the stage of the production process at which product are examined to determine whether they are acceptable or unacceptable unit. So if the company is already applying total quality management or TQM, so they will inspect regularly, ya, dari hulu ke hilir, ya, selalu, ya, untuk mengurangi tingkat kerugian, ya. Nah, nanti mereka bisa memutuskan, they can decide, ya, the defect is acceptable or unacceptable, ya. Spoilage is typically assumed to occur at the stage of completion, ya, where inspection takes place. Nah, jadi kalau sudah berakhir, berarti kan biasanya agak sulit diperbaiki, ya. Maka defect atau cacat atau spoilage ini diasumsikan terjadi pada tahap akhir, ya. As a result, the spoil unit in our example are assumed to be 100 complete for direct material. Nah, ini asumsi yang digunakan untuk membuat report, ya. Prosedur to make COPR, cost of production report, is still same for step 1, ya. But we should add with the spoilage. Ya, summarize flow of physical unit, identify both normal and abnormal, and the second one we calculate equivalent unit, but we should add it with the spoil unit. Ya, step 3, ya, summarize total cost. Step 4, compute the cost per equivalent, and step 5, a little bit complicated. Yeah, if we compare with the regular, yeah, first we should calculate unit completed, the second one spoil unit, and the third one, as usual, we should calculate unit in ending or closing work in progress. So let's take a look at the example. Okay, we to make it bigger, yeah. Oops. Okay. As you can see here, yeah, process costing with spoilage. Yeah, for the forming department, first it's same. WIP beginning or WIP opening, yeah. 1,500 plus started. Yeah, it's same. And then this is the difference, yeah. It's same with transfer out and completed, but this is the good unit completed, 7,000, ya. Normal spoilage, jadi ada yang unavoidable loss 700 nih, and we plus with the abnormal spoilage 300. Nah, ini. Jadi ada keterangan tambahan seperti ini. Ada normal, ada abnormal. Ya. And then we plus with work in progress closing 2,000. Jadi sama ini. 10,000 ya, WIP opening plus started should be same with the goods transfer, normal spoilage, abnormal spoilage plus WIP closing 10,000. Okay, and how to calculate equivalent unit? Yeah, for goods unit completed and transfer out, it always multiply with 100%. It's same with the previous chapter. Sama nih ya, 7.000 kali 100%, 7.000 kali 100%. Ya, for normal spoilage, ya, according to the assumption. Ya, jadi asumsinya tadi normal dan abnormal ditemukan pada akhir proses produksi, ya. Berarti semua sudah selesai baru ditemukan. Jadi inspeksi dilakukan pada akhir proses produksi. Nah, kalau asumsi seperti ini berarti material sudah masuk semua, conversion cost juga sudah selesai. That's why it's multiply with 100%. Jadi 700, 700, this is 300 and 300. WIP closing, if we use average or FIFO, it's same. Ya, kita kalikan dengan percentage completion. Ya, so in this example, material already put, ya, all material. All material means 100%, already put into the production process. Meanwhile, conversion cost only 50% completion. So it's time with 50%. So this is the equivalent unit. Yeah. Okay, inspection point, yeah, and allocating cost of normal spoilage. Yeah. Spoilage might occur at various stages of a production process, but it's typically detected only at one, yeah, or more inspection point. The unit cost of normal and abnormal spoilage are the same when the two are detected at the same inspection point. Jadi ini inspection point is the matter, ya. Early inspection can help prevent any further cost being wasted on units that are already spoiled. Ya. So, firm often conduct multiple inspection and also empower worker to identify and resolve defect on a timely basis. So like I said, if the company already implement the total quality management, inspection process will be occur along of the process to minimize the loss, ya. Jadi sehingga kalau ada ditemukan cacat bisa langsung diperbaiki. Kalau cacat ditemukan pada akhir proses produksi, biasanya sudah agak berat untuk memperbaikinya. Ya, cost yang ditimbulkan juga menjadi lebih besar. Oke, in job costing also spoilage. Ya, sama saja, ya. Tetapi because they use job costing, so system generally distinguish, ya, between normal spoilage that will be attributable to specific job from normal spoilage common to all job. Ya, jadi biasanya kalau ada normal loss itu langsung dibebankan pada job yang spesifiknya. Ya, so this is the journal entry. Ya, when normal spoilage occurs because of the specification of particular job, that job bears the cost of the spoilage minus the disposal value of the spoilage. Ya, jadi material control WIP ini kalau dibebankan ke job ABC, and this is job costing and accounting for normal spoilage common to all job. Ya. Kalau common all job, ya, so the spoilage cost is as manufacturing overhead. Jadi diperlakukan sebagai overhead, ya. And if we want to make, ya, jadi maybe you still remember how to calculate the overhead rate, ya. So if there's normal spoilage in the factory, so we should calculate, ya, in the budgeted manufacturing overhead rate. Jadi dimasukkan dalam perhitungan anggaran, ya, budget, ya. Nah, if the spoilage common to all job, ya, manufacturing overhead control will be debited, ya, instead of material control, ya. Jadi di sini sedikit ada perbedaan, ya. Nah, kalau di job itu spesifik, ya. Nah, itu misalnya ada bahan baku, ya, yang rusak, ya. Nah, itu langsung dikenakan, kita bebankan kepada job tertentu. Karena ini spesifik job. Tetapi kalau dia itu sama, common to all job, ya, kita akan membebankan ke overhead. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you get a little bit insight, yeah, about the process costing, job costing, and how to make cost of production report. So I will be sent back to the Nur, yeah, as the master of ceremony. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Silakan Mbak Nur.
Okay. It is a great honor to be able to learn from an amazing lecturer like Dr. Hasnawati. Thank you once again from the bottom of our heart. Now, we're going to do a Q&A session for those who have any question regarding this topic.
Ada yang mau bertanya? Yang tadi kurang jelas, boleh tanya.
Ada siapa-siapa nak tanya?
Kalau hari Minggu ini betul-betul kuliah ya Bu Azrin? Semua
Ya betul. Ya.
Anak-anak sekolah pun sekolah.
Ya betul. Sebab di sini liburnya Sabtu dengan Jumaat dan Sabtu.
Jumaat dan Sabtu ya.
Sebab nak memberi untuk solat Jumaat, jadi hari di sini libur untuk hari Jumaat.
Iya.
Jadi Jumaat Sabtu jadi Ahad sudah kuliah.
Iya. Macam Senin ya. Kalau di kita kan I don't like Monday. Kalau di sini I don't like Sunday. Orang libur sekolah di sini.
Ya betul.
Tadi ada yang mau bertanya? Tak ada. Ya mungkin sampai di sini saja. Next time kita boleh jumpa lagi. Mungkin langsung ke UiTM atau Bu Azrin datang ke Trisakti. Kami tunggu.
Insyaallah.
Ya. Oke, saya pamit undur diri. Sampai ketemu lagi.
Ya.
Yo, assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.